Hello, my name is Halimat Oyindamola Raji, and I am based in the United Kingdom. My edX username is halimatraji, and my GitHub username is Halee-tech. Today's date is the 15th of January, 2026. In this presentation, I will be discussing a real-world cybersecurity and privacy incident involving Instagram, which occurred in late 2024. There is no publicly assigned CVE number for this incident, as it involved a large-scale data exposure rather than a traditional software vulnerability. I chose this incident because it directly relates to key course concepts, including API security, authentication and authorization, privacy protection, and social engineering attacks. These topics are central to modern cybersecurity, especially for platforms that handle large volumes of user data. Instagram is a globally used social media platform with millions of daily users. Because of its scale, even a small security weakness can affect millions of people. This incident provides a clear and practical example of how poor API security can result in serious privacy failures, even when passwords are not compromised. In late 2024, reports emerged about a security exposure affecting Instagram users. Approximately 17.5 million user records were exposed due to insecure access to an API endpoint. This incident was not a traditional data breach where attackers steal passwords or directly hack accounts. Instead, attackers exploited a poorly secured API, which allowed them to collect user data in bulk. Although passwords were not leaked, the exposed information was still extremely valuable. The data was later used in phishing campaigns, impersonation scams, and targeted social engineering attacks. This shows that even without login credentials, attackers can still cause serious harm. The exposed data included usernames, user IDs, email addresses, phone numbers, location-related metadata, and account status information. At first glance, this may seem less dangerous than a password leak. However, this type of data is highly sensitive. Cybercriminals can use it to identify users, contact them directly, and create highly convincing fake messages. For example, attackers can send phishing emails or SMS messages that appear legitimate because they include accurate personal details. This significantly increases the likelihood that users will trust the message and fall victim to scams. An API, or application programming interface, allows different software systems to communicate and exchange data. Instagram relies heavily on APIs for its mobile applications, web services, advertising systems, analytics tools, and internal operations. APIs are essential for modern platforms, but they are also a major attack surface. Because APIs often handle large amounts of sensitive data, they must strictly enforce authentication, which verifies who is making the request, and authorization, which determines what data the requester is allowed to access. If APIs are misconfigured or poorly protected, attackers can extract massive amounts of data very quickly, often without triggering immediate alarms. The root cause of this incident was inadequate API security controls. Some API endpoints returned more user data than necessary, violating the principle of data minimization. Additionally, rate limiting was insufficient, allowing attackers to make repeated automated requests. There was also weak monitoring of abnormal behavior, meaning suspicious activity was not detected early. Together, these failures created an environment where attackers could quietly extract millions of records without immediate intervention. Attackers first identified exposed API endpoints that were accessible without proper restrictions. They then used automated scripts and tools to repeatedly query these endpoints, allowing them to harvest data at scale. Because rate limiting and detection controls were weak, the activity went unnoticed for a period of time. The collected data was stored, packaged, and in some cases sold or shared. Later, it was actively used in phishing campaigns, including fake password reset emails and messages designed to trick users into revealing login credentials. This incident represents a clear privacy failure. Users trust Instagram to protect their personal information, but this exposure occurred without user knowledge or consent. Even though passwords were not leaked, personal metadata can still enable identity-based attacks. The incident violated fundamental privacy principles, including data minimization and user protection by design. It also weakened user trust, which is difficult for platforms to rebuild once lost. This incident strongly connects to several core course topics. It highlights the importance of API security, the difference between authentication and authorization, and the role of privacy protection in system design. It also demonstrates how leaked data can fuel social engineering attacks, even when technical defenses appear strong. Most importantly, it shows why defense in depth is critical. A single weak layer, such as an API, can undermine an entire security system. After the exposure, many users experienced an increase in phishing attempts, scam messages, and fake password reset requests. Even users who were security aware were affected, because the messages appeared legitimate and contained accurate personal details. This increased the success rate of scams. Instagram also suffered reputational damage, as users questioned how their data was protected and whether similar incidents could happen again. After the exposure, many users experienced an increase in phishing attempts, scam messages, and fake password reset requests. Even users who were security aware were affected, because the messages appeared legitimate and contained accurate personal details. This increased the success rate of scams. Instagram also suffered reputational damage, as users questioned how their data was protected and whether similar incidents could happen again. Organizations should treat APIs as high-risk components rather than secondary systems. User metadata should be protected with the same level of care as passwords. Companies must assume that any leaked data will be weaponized by attackers. Continuous monitoring, secure by design development, and regular security reviews are essential best practices in modern cybersecurity. In conclusion, the Instagram API exposure demonstrates that metadata exposure is a serious security threat, even without password leaks. Strong access controls, continuous monitoring, and privacy-focused system design are critical for protecting users. This incident serves as a valuable lesson for both developers and security professionals. Thank you very much for watching my presentation. I appreciate your time and attention, and I am happy to answer any questions you may have.